Today's the day where we make my Civic all-wheel drive. Now, welcome back to the channel. This is a very, very exciting video, as when I started this whole build on this car, the biggest thing was I wanted it to be all-wheel drive. Now, we have the transfer case, we have the wagon rear diff, but this part I've been waiting on for almost 5 months now. This is going to be our billet viscous that's gonna connect our drive shaft. I've been waiting almost 5 months for this package to show up, even though it was supposed to take 15 days. I don't know how we went from 15 days to 4.5 months. I just really hope what I ordered is in here. But I guess here is the moment of truth. Woohoo! This is going to look so good. Granted, you'll never be able to see under the car, but this is one badass piece. Now, pardon the bad lighting down here, but we just went ahead and got our viscous thrown in. Now, for some reason, this viscous did not fit. I had to do some weird, janky stuff to get the viscous in place, but that's not gonna change any of our measurements. The rear section still fits perfectly. I just went ahead and pulled a measurement from our viscous over to our transfer case here. It is 31 inches and 3/4. So now we can go ahead, pull off the rear section, bring everything over to our drive shaft shop, get this stuff made, and hopefully in a few days, we can throw our whole drive shaft in. Now, one cool thing to note with my drive shafts is I added a slip joint on each end. As this is a 2-piece drive shaft, the viscous takes up the middle piece. All of these are adjustable. I can extend the length of my drive shaft. So when we go ahead, this car is gonna be taken apart many, many times as it is a race car. It is gonna make removing the shaft just that much easier. Now we've got our drive shaft in. It's gonna be hard for you guys to see it down below, but our drive shaft's in. Now I'm gonna go ahead, put in this ridiculously expensive gear oil. I'm using a Motul 75-140. Of course, we're gonna be using the good old Harbor Freight transfer pump. And now the diff takes 0.9 quarts, so we're gonna go ahead, almost use this entire bottle. We are filling from the fill port. We'll know it's full once it starts coming back out of the fill port. Start transferring. Almost there. Oh wow, right on the dot. Our first little drip there, and this bottle is empty. There we go. Now, we put our brand new OEM plug on. Let's go. We should be good to start it up now. Now, for the first time ever, let's go ahead, hop in the car, get it turned over, and watch this all-wheel drive system in action. I'm not ready for this. This wheel's struggling, but we got full movement. 3-wheel drive, baby. Now, the reason that the passenger side wheel was moving and the driver side was not, it is an LSD diff. So whatever side has the least resistance is gonna spin. Of course, that side had least resistance, which caused this side to not spin. But just to double check and make sure everything works, I went ahead and stopped the wheel over here. And as soon as this wheel stopped, that one started spinning, which is a good sign. All-wheel drive system is done. Now tomorrow, I'm hoping we can get my appointment to get the glass installed, front windshield, lexan quarters. I do need to wire up my fuel level, a few miscellaneous stuff like that, and then we can start tuning. Now, we got the Honda officially all-wheel drive. Now, this morning I have a mobile glass company coming to install all the glass on this Honda. Now, what's crazy, it's been almost 2 years since this chassis has seen any sort of glass after I crashed it And today, it should look like a completed car. Now going on the front windshield, we have a glass windshield that they're gonna go ahead and install. On the rear though, we're switching it up and I have lexan that's going on the rear quarters. I also have a lexan rear hatch, but that doesn't need to be bonded. I'm gonna use the factory mounting points. So it will still function like factory, but we got our lexan quarters. They're picking up and dropping off and installing the glass front windshield. And then on my table over here, I have our lexan hatch. Here's my new front windshield. Kind of cool. I also opted in for the blue sun visor. I thought it might look good with the car. Curious to see how it looks on the car though. Got the new windshield OEM clips installed. Let's get that thrown in. All right, we got the front windshield in. Now it's time to play with the lexan.
All right, I'll let you go.
Yeah?
You wanna go for it?
No, I'll rip it off.
Satisfying.
Is this your first time doing lexan? Gluing lexan?
Glue lexan, yeah.
So traditionally for lexan, you'll see commonly, I should say, people will riv nut them or like screw them in. I don't like the look of it. I have brand new moldings. This lexan is designed to use the OEM molding. So he's gonna be playing around. He has an idea of how to make sure that bonds properly. So obviously we don't have a rear quarter windshield shooting outside of the car. So he's gonna play around with this.
One, usually on a cheap lexan, they don't even have this frip band. I have to make my own frip band. This frip band basically, what it does, it protects the glue from the UV rays from the sun.
Okay. So that's what this is for.
Yeah, exactly. So if you didn't have this, the UV rays from the sun can eventually deattach the glue, polyurethane, and it will pop off.
No
but since
way.
they put this frit on there, we can scuff it up and put a little bit of primer because we use primer-based polyurethane, and
it should just go right on like glass, right?
Exactly like glass.
So that's cool. Yeah, this is a very, very nice company based out of Australia. It's not like some eBay lexan.
You can tell the shape of it, and you can tell just by like, if I didn't pick it up right now, just by looking at it, it looks like glass.
Yeah, I'm excited. It was I think on the car, people probably won't even be able to tell that it is lexan.
Yeah.
Especially glued and with the OEM
With the
moldings.
OEM
Yeah, you think it's glass.
Oh yeah.
So let's go ahead. Well, I'm not doing anything. He is. He's gonna go ahead and get that scuffed up, and we'll get our rear quarters placed on. Oh, that's gonna look fantastic. And here we go. I need to get myself some of this purple tape. It is so strong. When I was doing all the body work, painting, masking, all that stuff, I was using the blue tape. I started messing with other tapes, like yellow is horrible. I never knew this purple tape existed. It is ridiculously strong. It's awesome. Also, you do have to be careful on paint though, especially if it's a fresh paint job, it will rip up your paint. But this paint has off-gassed for a year now, which is crazy. It does not even feel like a year ago. 1 year ago, this car was out of the booth and time flies. Let's take a look on what this looks like without this tape in the way. Now that looks so proper. It's pretty much essentially a fully driving car now. I mean, we still have a few things we need to button up, but there's our front windshield. It completely changed the look of this car. Beforehand, it just looked so unfinished. But now, I mean, if you were to look at this car, you would not think that it's not drivable. I mean, technically, the car is done, so it is drivable. I don't know. It's completed. Now, this is a brand new engine that I assembled by myself. My first built engine I've ever blueprinted and assembled. Now we have tons of heat cycles on this car. We've driven it a little bit. I wanna go through and just flush all of the oil out of here, inspect the oil, make sure everything looks normal because we wanna get all of the contaminants out of there, all of the cylinder wall material from the rings breaking in. Then we're gonna put new oil in, do our street tuning, start getting the boost a little bit. After that, I'll do another oil change after we put some miles on it. And then our third oil change. This car is ready to rip. Now, truthfully, I'm a little bit anxious as, like I mentioned, it is my first engine I ever assembled. Now, everything runs fine, it sounds fine. There's nothing really to worry about, but I wanna make sure that we don't have any excess material in this oil. Now, I just got my package from YouTube, which is my 100,000 play button. That's crazy. When I started social media, this felt like an impossible dream. But here we are. One thing to note is the build quality is quite horrendous. It's plastic. I always thought it was like metal.
It's
I bet over the
plastic.
years, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure they used to be metal.
Before everyone started getting these things, but 100,000 subscribers. Everyone watching these videos, thank you guys so much. None of this would be possible without you guys watching. I cannot wait to hit our next milestone, which is 1 million subscribers, which is crazy to think about, but we're gonna get there. My goal is by the end of this year to cross 500,000 and then chase that million mark. This is crazy. I gotta find a good place to hang this, whether it's in the shop or my office. I feel like the shop maybe. No, maybe office. I don't know. I just wanted to show you guys my play button has arrived. Thank you to every single one of you guys that watch my videos. Subscribe. I cannot wait to see where we are another, I don't know, 3 years from now. It's going to be insane. Probably be in a whole new shop, more cars, crazier builds. I don't know how we get much crazier than this. Now the engine oil is quite cold. This might take a minute, but so far, it looks perfect. Now we can pull this oil filter out of here. I think it's gonna be easier to get it out from the bottom. So far, the oil coming out of the pan looked perfect, but what will really tell us how the engine health is by cracking open this filter and taking a look at our element. Oh yeah, most definitely some cylinder wall in here. So far though, no cause of concern, just some cylinder wall material that we should get out of this oil. Now the oil I'm running in this engine, as of right now, at least I should say, is gonna be the Pen Grade 2050. Got the big boy thick oil, but that is what I also measured this block out to be to account for a thicker oil. I don't know why I grabbed the longest, skinniest funnel I have. Now we can throw our cap on. Get our dipstick pushed in. Let's fire it up. I do still need to grease up our new hinges here. Huh? It would help if I plugged in our fuel pump. Forgot to plug it back in after I was doing my fuel level wiring, but here we go. The fuel pump priming sound is something I don't think I'll ever get over. It sounds so sick. 100 plus PSI oil pressure. We really gotta start tuning this thing soon. And there we go, 100 plus PSI of oil pressure on startup, which is phenomenal. This Honda is ready to start tuning. Now in this video, we were able to completely button up the remaining things of the car. We made it officially all-wheel drive. We got the billet viscous skin, we got our custom drive shaft made, also installed. We got our lexan windows, our glass front windshield, did our first oil change. Now, the next video is gonna be driving this car on the streets. Now, I would say let's go ahead and do it right now. The issue is, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, it is winter. You go outside my shop here, we're in snow. So we have to wait for the snow to go away a little bit, for the temperatures to rise at least above freezing, so we can actually properly tune this on the street, actually get into boost, not be spinning, dial in the car. I'm hoping early next week we can make that happen. This week it is like 5 degrees at the lowest point, which is just brutal. There's no way I'm driving this car. Plus I have no heat in the car. There's nothing separating us from the outside elements. So while we wait for weather for the Honda tuning, we have tons of crazy videos coming. My pallet for the remaining parts for the McLaren is on the way. It is officially shipped. I've been waiting on a ton of stuff that was so impossible to get my hands on. The biggest piece is my new rear subframe. That is on the way. So you guys will be seeing a McLaren Part 3 build episode, fixing the carbon tub, getting the new subframe on, and possibly getting the engine back in. And then next weekend, we're taking the STI up into the mountains. If you guys missed that video, I put backcountry snow tracks on my STI. We're gonna go in the mountains and just beat the living crap out of it. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know down below, what build are you most excited for? Is it the 1,000 horsepower all-wheel drive Civic? Is it the 720 rebuild? Or my new off-road snow track edition STI?